After a fiery match between the Wildcats and Minyi Prince in the Tiger Beer Challenge on Friday night, the Dragons let off some steam against Typhoon last night at the Geylang Indoor Stadium. For the Dragons, it was business as usual. But for Typhoon, it was a double blow with news that their #1 import, Andre Lafleur, is returning to Australia. Jason Offord reports.
It was their home game and the Typhoon had blown in to blow out the Dragons' fire. But even in the first quarter, it became clear the fire was out of control. Imports Joe Hurst and Bernard Williams combining for most of the early points. Typhoon's Andre Lafleur and Cameron Burns piled on the pressure. Lafleur hitting 11, Burns 10 for the quarter. But the Dragons went 6 clear. Tera Ko Sang with the steal. And the 2. In the second 12 minutes, Big B Williams did his thing. The lead up to 11. From a fast break, Typhoon's foreign 2 combined to keep them in with a chance. The traffic became heavy under the net. It wasn't pretty, but every point counts. Burns for 2 and the Typhoon get a second wind, trailing by just 8 at the half, 57-65. No major turnaround in the third quarter. Typhoon playing catch-up as the Dragons pull clear 92-79. 4 minutes into the last, and the Dragons get their ton. Joe getting some hang time of his own. The league leaders literally run away with the game. Williams stealing some of the limelight for a 22-point lead. Typhoon got into 3 figures courtesy of Lafleur from the fast break, but it was a case of too little, too late. 101-117 the final score. The Dragons to the top of the table with 3 from 3. Joe Hurst, the destroyer, hitting 46. Williams 31. Ko Meng Kun a valuable 22. For Typhoon, Lafleur contributed 39. His foreign counterpart Burns 30.
First of all, we need to take care of the ball a lot better. We had a lot of turnovers that led to a lot of easy baskets for them. And second of all, our defense and our rebounding is something that was pretty appalling tonight. But they were a good team. They played very hard. They wore us down. They played great team defense. So I have to give them the nod tonight.
One of the game's biggest attractions, the league has probably seen the last of the 32-year-old Sydney-sider. Lafleur told Sports Sunday he was heading back to Australia to attend to business and family commitments.
I don't know. I think I basically...
But Prince got 2 quick 2s and went into the last down by just 1 at 75-74. They pulled clear again 88-81 in the final 12 minutes and looked set for the win. But an ankle injury to Morning allowed the Dragons to get right back in it. The Dragons got their ton from the stripe with 30 seconds remaining, foul points edging them in front. Rainbow's night looked brighter when he hit 3, 99-102. But another foul saw the Dragons put the game out of Prince's reach with 6 seconds to go. Final score, Dragons 103, Prince 99. Love was the game's top scorer with 32 points. Williams hit 29 and 15 rebounds. Ko Meng Kun scored 23. For Prince, Cecil Morning did most of the damage with 30 points and 18 rebounds. Rainbow scored 17, Lim Kok Chuan 14.
Yeah, it was a pretty good game. Struggling a little bit at first quarter, trying to shake off the jet lag and stuff, but get adjusted to the heat. But hopefully later on in the season, maybe next game, so I'll be okay. Get a pretty good break between games so I can get a chance to get in shape and stuff. Our league is pretty good, There's a lot of good players. The imports is good, and also I was really surprised at the talent of the Singaporeans. They're a little smaller, but hey, they can run, they can scrap with you. It's good.
Last night, Typhoon blew away Tycoon at the GIS. Typhoon's new signing, Alan Eriksson, combining well with Cameron Burns for an easy 102-90 win. Tycoon star import Nick Stewart continued to dazzle the crowd and was the game's top scorer with 43 points and 11 rebounds. New blood Patrick Sanders scored 22, but it wasn't enough on the night. Typhoon led by 18 at the first break, 35-16, and they never looked back. It was 58-40 at the half, and they led by 30 at one stage in the third. With the wind sewn up, Typhoon eased off, Tycoon pulling back the deficit to 12 on the bell. For Typhoon, it was a morale-boosting win, having lost big Andre Lafleur. Burns was their best with 36, Eriksson hit 24. So that's the end of the first half of the season. The table looks like this. The Dragons ahead with 4 from 4. Typhoon, Prince and Tycoon all have 6. Typhoon's for and against record, keeping them in second spot. The Wildcats are on the bottom with 0 and 4. The challenge is back next Friday night when the Dragons take on the Wildcats. Prince and Tycoon play on Saturday night. The Wildcats are back to face Tycoon on Sunday.
And boy, they look pretty tough. After a busy season, the Tiger Beer Basketball Challenge came to a fitting finale last weekend, when favourites the Dragons took on Mini Prince at the Geylang Indoor Stadium. Many thought it would be an easy game for the mighty Drags, but they forgot it's always a fairy tale ending when a prince gets involved. The favourites, the Dragons, got off to a fiery start, featuring a lot of offense. In the first 12-minute quarter, the Drags pulled away to a 20-15 lead. 24-year-old Bernard Williams and Mark Love, the Dragons' foreign imports, stamping and stomping their authority with baskets, defensive and offensive rebounds and assists. In the second quarter, the Dragons continued to flame Prince, the team they favoured more for the championship final than the stronger Tycoon team, pulling ahead to a commanding 54-37 lead. Then after the break, Prince must have had some serious talking to from their coach Fu Su Tong as they come back with some razzle-dazzle of their own. With 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter, the score tightens to 65-57. The crowd roaring their approval, knowing they have a close game on their hands. With a minute on the clock in the third, it narrows down to a single point, Cecil Morning leading the strike force. The overconfident Drags seem to be losing it, fading when it mattered most. At the end of the third quarter, the Dragons seem to be blowing hot air instead of hot flames. After a well-choreographed dancing performance on court, as well as the supporting act from the gallery by a big Barry Manilow fan, the teams get down to serious business in the fourth and final quarter. In the first minute, the fast break from Prince, and for the first time they take the lead from the Dragons with